What's Happening Hoke show is filmed before a live audience and is sponsored by the Rock of Hoke, Rockfish Motor Speedway.
That's why we have our community meetings, to bring to light. If we want to pass something in Rockfish, and you have a board sitting here, you should be able to talk to that board, and they should be able to explain to you what they're passing. What are you spending my money on? I should be able to know that. When I go to the meetings, I get confused. Oh, we put it in the paper. Oh, we put it on Facebook. But the people don't know what's being passed. They have no idea. And I think with the younger generation, they're not getting involved in local government to begin with, where they should be involved, not the older folks. And I think that's where it's at. I think if we, as Rockfish, get involved more with the local government, I think we'd have a better working relationship with them and let them know what we want. You know, the more you tell them what we want, then the more we're going to get. It's just that simple. But I get confused when I go to those county commissioners meetings, I really do. Because I don't know what's being passed, I really don't know what they're talking about. But we have an open board here. You talk to us, we're going to try to get you answers. Now, one thing I asked Mr. Brock was about the sewer and water, and I was hoping that Leonard would be here tonight to talk to you and explain to you where it's at. I believe that he, and I believe the county commissioners, whomever's developing this, I don't know who's developing all of it yet, but I'll find out who the contractors are. I have no idea. He should be able to give us a map and say, okay, we are here, here's where it's going, here's where it's ending up.
And the state.
We started here, it should take 2 years, we'll be over here. And that's what I feel that our local government should be able to tell you folks. You should be able to go into a big auditorium, and your county commissioners and your local government, who's ever utilities and who's ever head of these departments should say, we're starting here, here's where it's ending up, here's where it's going. And it's going to take this long to do it. Here's the cost. You're paying for it. Although we got grants, I know that, but you all end up paying for it. My question came up now. I asked Mr. Groff when he proposed this, I said, okay, the sewer is going to go right past my house. Good. It'll be all right. Haven't had no problem with my septic, but I'm fortunate, I guess. Now I got to pay again to get it from my house, which is 200 feet to the sewer. Now, who's paying for that? Well, the homeowner. The homeowner has to pay for that. And I got thinking, how the heck am I going to get that all hooked up and heck under my septic? How am I going to do that?
You don't go through your septic no more.
No, I got to get the line. From where I do my business, I got to get that line out to that sewer, right?
You hook up where
That will be on the homeowner.
where it goes to the septic tank, you cut it off there and make a left and go the other
I
direction.
know, but a lot of people never thought about that. They think the sewer's coming by, oh my, I'm gonna have sewer, but wait a minute, you gotta get it from the house to there. Mr. Sutherland, you wanna add something, please?
Yes, thank y'all for having me. I appreciate Mr. Brownie and Mr. Long inviting me. And I really think that what you're doing, Mr. Brock and his board, is very progressive, and you on the right track. We talk about this sewer project we have. It's about roughly $18 million project to bring sewage to the whole county, and of course that includes Rockfish. The issue though, next month, if everything goes planned, we should be connected, and we should be actually, the sewage project should be up and running, so to speak. Now, as we go and try to connect, we're looking now with Mr. McBride. I wish he was here because he's our director. He can explain where we're going with it. And we do have a plan, but I'll let you know how we're going to do it. Now, I think the petition you're doing is excellent. I don't think it's going to be that much money. It might be a whole lot less than that, because what we're trying to look at it from a county commissioner standpoint is to make it cost feasible for families. We understand where we live and how we live it, and so we don't want nothing in that area. But what I like what you're doing is you're getting people committed So we see Rockfish is committed, and we're gonna say, okay, they're committed to having this sewage, and we're gonna be committed. It's a partnership. We're gonna be committed to bring this where y'all need to bring it. And we got a board that's willing to do that. We you know, when I say spend $18 million of our taxpayers' money, that's our money. That's your money, that's your money, that's your money, my little bit, you know. But it's a great project that's gonna cost money and it's gonna cost people. And right now, we're not really sure where. But I think what Mr. Brock is doing with this petition, if people can get on board with this, I think it's going to be a plus when the petition come to our office and they're stacked up and we say, okay, in terms of priorities, just like what you all are doing with DOT, in terms of priorities, they're ready to go, the family's ready to go. Let's go ahead and make sure that we put McBride on this project so he can go ahead and move these lines through. So I just think it's a great idea. Sewage is going to be here sooner than you think. Like I said, next month we're going to actually start the operation, and then we might be in Rockfish without Mr. McBride being here. I'm not really sure, but maybe by in the fall or the winter time. You know, so it's moving pretty fast. And the county, it would of course foot the bill and put it on your sewage bill, on your water bill. So that's the plan right now. You know, but in terms of the exact cost, we don't have that just yet.
That's the reason we were kind of just putting a number down there at this time.
Yes, sir.
Because if I understand correctly, I used to work in the city of Fayetteville, or not Fayetteville, PWC. Lafayette Village, I'm going to use that for example. When they decided to put the sewer line out there, they didn't ask you if you wanted it or not. They put it by there and you paid it. That was it. There was no question. And I have an idea it was a lot more than $4,000 in that case. Maybe up to 10. I don't know. But I got a feeling it cost me like
It was expensive, I remember.
Yes, sir. Now, is that our government system? Yes, it is. Because I would love to do it for you for $1,000. So, but from the top down, and we're down, and that's where it's coming from. Coming out of your taxes, coming out of your pocket. Or it won't be out of taxes because sewer is not a taxable item. But it's like he said, water and sewer bill. Suck in 2,000 gallons of water, you're going to put out 2,000 gallons of sewer. Somebody's going to pay for that. By the month, plus a little more till you get your 4,000 or whatever they agree to fix your tap for.
Then you use the sewer rates to pay for capital improvements. You put that sewer line in and you incur a certain amount for it. You could have raised the rate for your monthly rate, your bill there, and you raise it to pay back that off.
Pay back the amount that we need to actually connect people. You could do that. And the rate's going to go up a little bit, you know, because of the fact that we got a new $18 million system that we're putting in. So we're going to have a sewage rate, we're going to have a water rate, and they're going to, of course, kind of merge together. But we could, you know, consider doing that. We haven't thought about doing it yet, but we could.
Could people just have water when their rates go up and pay for the sewer?
It would be this. No, it won't go up and pay for the sewage. It'll be your own sewage rate. So it's gonna be a.
So your water rate go up?
No. It's gonna be a sewage rate. If I'm understanding you correctly. So you're gonna have an increase because of the sewage. I want to make sure there's gonna be an increase, but it's gonna be on the sewage side.
Okay, is it gonna be like PWC's operation? You got a $30 water bill and a $60 sewage line?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's gonna be comparable, but it's gonna be you're gonna be able to see the two. You're gonna know what they are.
Well, I know that.
Right.
But PWC's got that system going. You pay $30 for your water, and you got $60 worth of collection, okay?
Right, that's an example, but that's not the, that's an
Okay,
example.
but I mean, is it gonna get that bad?
I don't know, I can't say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing that's kind of a,
Yes, sir, I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I think
and I do understand that, A sewer processing system is not cheap to operate because of the chemicals, the drying, the filtering, and then you gotta have,
Disposing and all that.
then you've gotta have the blessing of the EPA before it
Yes, sir.
exists.
Then you gotta have certain licensed people on staff.
Right, and I understand all that.
Ken, I
When
think
it runs
that's a little bit premature, but we don't want to put him on the spot because he has people working under him, and utilities guys and all that,
And I
who are the experts.
Yeah.
They're the experts, not that he's not.
Yeah, but
we don't.
he got eyeballs up there, he can look at it and let us know.
I understand. Well,
But Mr. McBride, he's excellent at that. And like you said, his mother is sick, so he had to leave work early and all that. So I would like for you all to invite him back again because he's super at his job.
This paper that was drew up here, it was not drew up just because Brian and myself, my brother Dave, anybody else wanted it drew up. It was suggested by the people who have this committee that he's just talking about, that we need to do that and let them know that we're willing to hook on. Is it gonna cost down the road 60-30? I don't know.
No,
DWC, I don't believe they're that high. I couldn't imagine it unless they, anyhow, I guess I hadn't lived over in a while, but it wasn't, I thought it was about the cheapest thing I had my hands
I've
on
got
over
very
in
friends
town.
live over there, and they've said that, on the water thing, you double your water bill, double your water price, and that gives you sewer.
Whatever, okay, but anyhow, irregardless, it's coming by your house one of these days and you'll pay extra more, which they have to say you're gonna have to get on it than what we're asking here. Or this gentleman, our commissioner has said it may even be less. We'll hold him to his word. This is a start to let the people, let them know that the people in the community out here are willing to do it. Because your septic tank's not gonna hold. There's too many of them in the ground. These subdivisions are gonna start leaking them directly. And if the sewer's by there, you're not gonna be able to fix your septic system. You're gonna hook on to it.
Mr. Rock, I really appreciate you tonight because you have enlightened me into what is going to happen and with the education that we've had tonight. And the ones that are not here, they're going to be all in dismay because they don't know what's happening, but they didn't take part. In last meeting, we had hardly any empty seats. It was almost full. But I appreciate you educating us and filling us in on what is going to happen. I have a better understanding about it now, and I thank you.
I do have a suggestion. If the board get with news journals, have this meeting right here, to highlight that. I realize that, that's the reason I'm saying it. But then have we get a little pressure from the board to Ken McDonald, push his button on the printer, but anyway, is put a little thing in the echo, because everybody gets an echo in Rockville. They come by and call them for free.
Well, it's my understanding if it was in the Echo, it was News Journal News on Wednesday.
This is true, but not everybody gets the journal, but everybody gets one of those daggone papers thrown in their yard. So if they go out there and open it up and they see something about the sewer, they may take that into heart and put it in their brain, you know?
Yes, sir.
Hey, real quick, about getting people here. I got 2 suggestions real quick to the board, anybody. First thing I wrote down is, let's not plan a meeting the week of a holiday. Because tomorrow is start Memorial Day weekend, a lot of soldiers, everybody go out of town, I'm retired soldier. Secondly, we put up a little sign, which is good, and we put an echo, which is great. What we need to start doing, because I see in the other areas like Fayetteville, different things, is get a big blinking sign. Even if you have to put it where we had the little sign before, and put one right here, because a lot of traffic comes this way every day. Blinking and say, hey, community meeting, at least a week, 2 weeks out. 2 weeks out saying community meeting, at such and such at that time. So that people, because a lot of people, like I said, I got a neighbor across the street. They don't even, I had to tell the people that throw out the Echo paper, stop throwing it in their yard because they don't pick it up. I mean, I'm serious, I'm being for real.
Amen on that one.
And, which is good, I mean, you use all means necessary, but a flashing, blinking light, well, we got, like you said, we got a crowded problem right there every day that people visual blink and say, hey, community meeting, Rockfish, 21st of this, like today. So now that they see it, and secondly, like I said, tried to stop doing the meeting the week of a holiday. So that's probably where everybody at today. That's probably why they're not here.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your suggestions. The last meeting that we had, there was 900 flyers put in mailboxes. There is a sign in downtown Rockfish about this big about our meeting. And when we planned, we actually didn't really realize that this was a holiday. At our last meeting, we had to hurriedly come up with a date, and this was the date that we'd chosen, not thinking that it was a holiday. This past meeting, there was 300 flyers sent out. Businesses were contacted. There's an ad in the paper. So Browning is trying hard to let people know about it. And you know, we don't have the fire department representative here tonight. They were invited. There is a flashing sign at the fire department with our meeting on it. So any suggestions you have, we're ready.
Oh, no, I wasn't knocking your meeting. The reason I'm saying that,
Absolutely.
because, not being funny, the sign is about yay high, and you driving on a busy road, sometimes you can't see it per se. That's why I say, if you notice when you go in Fayetteville now has the big, so if I want to get your attention, people see stuff like that. And so you put up a big enough sign. And like I said, let's use this section right here that's a hindrance, and let's use it as a positive for us to get the meeting, because like I said, Browning, I'm not knocking him, it's real good. But you got a big sign where everybody has to stop right there, that stop and stop sign, and you got a big sign blinking said community meeting the 21st. Community meeting the 21st, at least a week or two out, where they see it now, it's focused on their mind, and the key to it is to get it in their mind in repetition. So if you get it in their mind on repetition, and it's blinking at them, so they like, hey, if they don't remember nothing else, they're gonna remember that meeting.
I love your ideas. And please understand.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Please understand, this is self-funded. We do not have a fund that has been set aside to buy us a big blinking sign. If anybody wants to contribute to this program and to our committee, feel free to come up and give us $1,000, $1,500. We'll be glad to have it, but just please understand, this is put together by this particular individual, and there is no funds in our committee.
They've got that little vehicle going across the Galatian Church, not Galatian, Presbyterian Church. Yeah, Galatian Church. They've got a sign, some of the members from there put a sign right there in front of right in front of Walmart. When you pull out, it's a community meeting thing for that area right there on the end of the thing.
Let me just sum it up, and thank you so much. We will try better.
Oh, no, I'm just using that as an example.
Oh, absolutely.
And it ain't flashing. It's just a big piece of plywood with a number.
Okay, now that we have got this settled, we are close to adjourning this evening. And do you have any more comments?
I got one more comment. You see on your thing, on your desk, I'm sure most of you looked at it. This is very important. This is very important for our county. This is very important for our state. And it's very important for the United States of America. Everybody needs to register to vote. Get an ID if you don't have it. I didn't pass this law. I don't know who did. Doesn't make any difference. I have an ID, so I'll be using it if they want it. But just have your stuff together where when this young lady right here is usually at the Board of Elections here every year and has been for many years, she don't have a problem. And go vote. And then attend these meetings and let's keep going and get bigger. And I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. This end of Hope County, McLaughlin Township, and right through here can control by votes everything that takes place in this county if we decide to get out and vote. Everything. They just won't go vote. I think the percentage that she can tell you is mighty nothing for these two precincts. Puppet Creek, Rockfish. No, I mean hardly anything. Am I right?
You're right.
You're exactly right, yes ma'am. So watch these things, take care of it, get it done, go vote, pass your opinion. And if I, Brown, if you close or whatever we do.
Before we close, I want to recognize Jim Davis back there from Blue Springs. What he done was, he was the one who brought them to the rock. And I want to
Okay,
pass
thank
that
you,
to
sir.
everybody. If Mr. Davis, you got something you'd like to say to us, would feel free to do so.
I appreciate it, Mr. Brown. And listen, I'm coming here to these meetings because I'm concerned and interested about what's happening in Rockville. I'm a public servant. I'm formerly elected here in Hope County as one of your representatives, but I remain a public service because I have a nonprofit in this county. I've been elected to serve as the Democratic chair of the Democratic Party for Hope County. And I want to make sure that Rockfish, McLaughlin Township, and all other precincts in Hope County get this information about this ID requirement for the 2016 election, because we in Hope County are voters. Unfortunately, we don't have the numbers as Mr. Brock has said. But if we educate our citizenry and encourage them to get involved with the voting process, they can attend these meetings with the county commissioners and their other local governments and get the results from infrastructure, from environmental, from a Department of Transportation, get whatever requirements that they need by the power of their vote. So we got to get people interested. I didn't leave my name and number, but if you have a pen, my number is 910-286-2069. That's 286-2069. And if there's anything that I can do to assist over here in Rockfish, we'd be glad to do that. Thank you.
One thing I would add before Brownie goes and gets done and then we're going home, I'm getting tired of knocking money up the hill, coming out of the house for people. But this is your community. This is your meeting. And these are your board members so long as we can survive and last. Also, Hope County is your county. It belongs to you, people. And we need to stand up and let everybody know that the people are in position to own the county because we own it. Every piece of paper, everybody that owns a piece of property owns Hope County. So with that being in mind, Brownie, I'm my coach.
Now, one thing I want to say is if anybody wants to step up and help me sponsor our program that we got going on, we'll be more than glad to take the funds, just like our drawing. Number two, we need and looking for sponsors for What's Up Hope. Has anybody seen that yet? Has anybody watched it?
What's happening?
Same difference. Nobody has seen it? Okay. Glenn, would you come forward, just come on up here with me and explain that to them? Who has one sponsor, I'm sponsoring it now. We do it every Thursday. And Glenn, if Glenn will explain it, and tell us who you are, Glenn.
Hi, I'm Glenn Young, GPS Photography and Video. I've been filming Hope County football since 2006. All my kids graduated there. I retired from the Army in 2007. When I was filming the football, of course, Hal Dunn announced all the games. And so we came with the idea last winter on AM 1400 of What's Happening in Hope. It's a show that's for Hope, by Hope, covers news, sports, and events in the county. One of the big things I brought up with him is like, well, we got a newspaper that comes out once a week, and we start talking news cycle, and everybody else that has a vested interest, nobody comes to Hope County unless it's bad news. You saw this week, WRAL, what's going on in Hope County High School. Fayetteville Observer, they can't, they got no air conditioning in the school. When it's something bad, they're here. What we were trying to do is change that to show all of Hope County. Yeah, we got to report about the news events, but at the same time, it's for you. It's by people that live in Hope, in the community, myself and Hal. There's an event that goes on now every Thursday right here at the Rockfish Motor Speedway right out there, which is where we were filming. We were at the Our Daily Bread. The way I see it, from a sports angle, everybody likes sports. What you got now, you got Friday night football, you got Saturday night racing. Both seasons run parallel all the way to November. I was at the TD Club meeting last night, and you had parents that was at the TD Club that live in Rockfish that were talking about that. All the events that were going on, but you're not connected. One guy was like, what's all that noise going on? I said, that's the racetrack over there. Is that what that is? So I gotta get out there. I like racing. Okay, well, come on out. So my role, my goal, and talk with Hal, is if you can unite the two, using sports as a venue and or church as a venue, because everybody goes to church, everybody likes sports, you might can find out what's going on with each other. And like, you see this guy selling at a football game, might be a different conversation than seeing him at a meeting. You may not be so mad, he was at the game. Or if you go to their meetings, they might come to your meetings. You go to their events, they might go to their events. I was telling the TV Club, if you come there and talk to the Speedway, they might let you put on a lot of events. Things like having the Midnight Madness, having the football team come out and walk around the track. If you connect it to, you got kids that don't play football, but they race cars, and vice versa. And they don't know about you, and the same issue. But on Friday night, everybody's out there, and they just go their ways. So that's one of the big things we do. News, sports, and events. What's Happening every Thursday. We're on Facebook, we're on a YouTube channel, and of course we'll upload. If you go to What's Happening Hope on Facebook, you'll see the first meeting was at 668 likes. And that was just the first 15-minute clip that I put up. So either one, they said, well, Glenn will put it up and I can just watch it later, or maybe it was a holiday. But if you want a copy of it, that's too easy. I'll make you a video transcript. If you want from last week to this week, you also got all the races if you missed any, and the same thing with football. Coach Paris is going to come down here, bring the football team down here. They're going to unite where they're going to bring all the race cars out there on a Friday night. The kickoff, but the first game is like August 21st. Next day is Saturday, you got a race here. You got a scrimmage on the 12th and the 15th of August. So bottom line, that's a lot of people in one place that got a vested interest in all the kids and everything that's going on, and you can talk. But if you got a story, or if you got something you want us to cover, let us know.
And they can come there and talk to you, and they can...
We'll do it right from your business, promotional event, too easy. Last thing, and we're hoping that it happens by tomorrow, the Wing Company, which is brand new, just opened. They're going to look at sponsoring a coaches show where we'll have Coach Paris on there. We'll talk about what happened last week, what's happening this week, and the highlights. Same token, we're going to have Rockfish Motor Speedway, the race car drivers, to talk the same thing. So he's investing to keep the kids on Friday night from going to Fayetteville to get involved with something, to be in one central location, to just cool off by after the game. Provide a meal and everything else. So everybody's talking together. Everybody's trying to do the same thing. They just need to get united and say, hey, well, I got this idea and that idea. Gary Brickman, last time I know, he needed sponsorship for his board out there, for the school that goes to Hope County Athletics. And I said, well, have you talked to Rockfish? Nah. I came down and talked to Larry and talked to Brandon. That's too easy. Yeah, we'll sponsor him. So, that's money he didn't even know he had. And not that it's all about money, but that's the support that he didn't know he had. So, that's it. I'm pretty much done. And got any questions, let me know. Contact me, Brian. I got a couple cards as well. You need an event, film, meeting, weddings, whatever. I do the whole thing from the business side of it. But at the same time, that's a show that we put on. And yes, we are looking for sponsors to keep it going. Now, whether we get sponsors or not, I say how we'll do it. right there in the living room of my house. I don't care, because it's something that's necessary that people see that's about them. They say, well, I don't have to go to Fayetteville to hear about what's going on. Well, I don't have to wait to the newspaper, because there's nothing against the newspaper. It's just the way it is. You got a thing of print media versus social media. All the kids, you know, they don't get the paper, but they'll be on that social media in a minute. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions of anything that we've discussed tonight? Does everybody think this is a good idea, what we're doing? Is it a good idea? Okay, let's get out there and talk to our neighbors and make sure that you let them know about our meetings, and we'll try to do something to make sure we advertise a little bit better on our meetings. No, we are, that's a good idea. I'll think about that, Mike. I'll figure something out.
Mr. Brown, you have a...
Okay, one more advice.
I just want to know, can we hand these out in our neighborhood?
What's that now?
Can we hand these out in our neighborhood?
Oh, absolutely, Mr. Brown, I want you to do that. That's
Oh,
what we
okay.
want you to
Once you
do.
make copies of it,
Okay.
and they can find their number of their property where it asks for partial number, they can look on their tax card, it's right on there, right as day.
Okay.
Because
We
there's
get
a lot
every
of-
year from the county, okay?
there's a lot of
And what's, it
subject-
says sealed, what's that?
Huh?
Where it says sealed, what's that?
Don't worry about that.
Oh, don't worry about that.
But there's a lot of septic tanks out here, it's overflowing right now. If they really, somebody get involved, well, I know the newspaper did. But there's a lot of them right here, it's overflowing right now.
You don't have to have a code run.
All right, go ahead, I got one more thing I want to present to you. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Amber Kirby and I'm here tonight with Alpha Canine. We're a PTSD service dog organization based out of Sacramento, California. We are opening an office here in Fayetteville. That way we can have an office in California and one in North Carolina, providing service dogs on the East Coast and the West Coast. Currently right now, the national average for veteran suicide is 22 veterans a day, or one veteran every 80 minutes. We also recognize that PTSD is not only affecting our service members, but others as well, to include law enforcement, first responders, battered women, and children. Our goal is to provide our service dogs at no cost to our clients, but naturally, as any charitable organization, that's not always the case. So currently, the national average for a service dog is anywhere between $15,000 to $25,000. We try to provide, as I said, at cost, which is nothing to the client, but we try to keep it somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000. How we are able to get those funds is through sponsorships, donations, and sometimes the individual prefers just to make that payment themselves. Now, what else we also offer is, I'm a veteran myself. I served for 15 and a half years in the Army as a military police officer, military working dog handler. I was medically retired 2 years ago. And so with my background, as well as becoming an AKC certified evaluator, I also offer basic obedience, advanced obedience, behavior modification, and the AKC group classes. So that's how I make my income. A portion of the proceeds from those classes goes to my paycheck, the remaining goes back to the service dog program. So I don't want to take any more of your time this evening. I could sit here and literally talk to you for probably the next hour. But if you are interested in getting some more information from me at the conclusion of this meeting, I will still be here for about approximately 20 to 30 minutes. I have some flyers, some business cards, and some handouts. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't forget, if you want your tickets, get your tickets for that big giveaway. If you got more pizza, make sure you get some pizza. Rock, have you got anything else?
No,
Tom?
thank you for coming. Sign your papers and get them done.
Our
Get
next
your
meeting
neighbors.
is the 20th.
Okay, the next meeting is gonna be the 25th of June, and you'll have an agenda set out for that. I want to thank everybody for coming. It means a lot to us, and we've got the word out. I want to thank especially you, Mr. Sutherland, for coming, and Jim Davis for coming. And get some pizza, I can't take it all home. Eat it up.